Alright, so here's where we are. After forging and grinding in the profile, I went ahead and took it home and put it in some vinegar overnight. And what that does is it eats all the forge scale off, takes you down to raw metal. That's a good tip for those of you that may just be getting into knife making. A lot of you guys have been doing it for a while. You already know that tip. Sandblasting also works, but vinegar is cheap, and you put it in a container, leave it there. It works out nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and get the handle pinholes drilled, and then I'm going to turn my attention to getting these bevels roughed in, then we'll heat treat. Alright, let's move on. Alright, everything went well in the heat treat, the quench, and went well in the tempering. No warping or anything. I went ahead and on that tempering, if you're wondering, I temper it at two 1-hour cycles at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. I've hit the bevels with a 120 grit belt. I'm going to put my leather platen on the grinder, and that kind of will allow me to get some of these wavy lines and such out of the grinding on the bevels and get us all set up for hand sanding. So I'm going to get that put on there. We'll get these bevels up to 220, and then we'll move on to hand sanding. Alright, now on this leather platen, I figured I'll go ahead and show you the one I use. And I just got a piece of, I think it's 1/8 of an inch flat bar, 2 inches wide. Drilled and tapped it. And then I used some spray adhesive, and I glued a piece of, I think it's like 6-ounce leather, 5 or 6-ounce leather to this. Spray adhesive allows, whenever this leather gets wore out, you can pull it off, clean it up real nice. But this will just help give a soft backing so the belt doesn't skip and bump, because sometimes that can get to be an issue, especially if you're using a wore out belt. But this will allow the knife to kind of set in there, and if you're concerned about it, kind of washing out your lines, it doesn't really do that too bad. Now, I had some thicker leather in the past, and it would actually smooth it over, almost like using a Scotch-Brite belt. And so I went to a thinner leather, and it seemed to have solved the problem. And I mean, these are very handy to have in your workshop. I suggest that everybody should have one on hand. Makes a big difference. All right, let's get to work. Alright, there's how she turned out. Ought to make a pretty good skinning knife. I went with rosewood on the handles. I got black G10 pins, 3/8 stainless steel lanyard tube. All that's left to get her sharpened up, and it should be good to go. I appreciate you for checking this video out. If you would, hit that sub button down below and notification bell to be notified of this content as it posts. And I'll see you soon. You all have a good one. Bye bye.